kids, it's me. Guess what? I changed some of the intro screens so we can keep the drone game up and loading and running here. Rory is not with us today. We'll see him back next Tuesday. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're here. Let's get started. All right. Let's start out with kind of show everybody where we are here. Let's bring up the Mr. Announcer bot right here. We're here today, episode 146 began. I just checked in that code about 11 minutes ago. We are going to, today we're going to work a little bit more on the dice roller. Let's take a look at that. By the way, William Bennett is with us out there. Will Bennett's out there with us. Thanks, Will, for being with us today. Let's initialize the player data. And kind of the idea we're talking about is doing an inspiration-only roll here. Let's give Lady, let's see if we can do this. How do I do this here? I guess there's two things I want to do. I wonder if inspiration only, I don't really have a great way to test this now that I think about it. I need to be able to put one roll out and then follow it with inspiration. So the first time we do it, we won't do that inspiration roll, and then later we're going to, well, maybe have a button. Maybe I should add a button over here. Maybe that's what I should be doing. That might be what I do, is I'll add a button over there. Let's do that. Let's get some music going here.
Will Bennett is in the house.
Because Will Bennett is awesome. And he has no opening today, but that's all right. We'll get that going here. All right, got some music. All right, so let's look at that. We'll look at getting a button there. Look at this. We're right in the right spot, I think. Prepare the roll. Well, maybe not. But we want to go look for that. That's what we want to look for. Here's where they add the pieces for each of this. This is the part that I think makes Will Bennett scream, because he's like, dude, just do a data template. And yeah, you're right. I probably should. In fact, the more I think about it, whenever I say no to what Will suggests, sometimes I get in a situation where the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, I should have done that. Parental advisory. I only chatted before the stream started. Shame on you, bot. Yeah, it might be true. But I think you chatted and we were in places that we couldn't change it. Holy cow, C# Fritz's rating with the party is 75. C# Fritz, by the way, I am working on your fanfare, my friend. And it's actually going to look really cool, I think. I learned the things I needed to learn. And your fanfare is going to involve, your hat rendered 3D and C#'s rendered 3D exploding out. And I think it's going to be crazy. I think you're going to love it. Not finished yet, but in progress. And I think it's going to look cool. Welcome, Copperbeardy, Ancient Coder, Stelzy79. All of our base belongs to them. Geniscu7, glad to have you back. Is Geniscu7 flying in a drone? I don't see that out there yet. Are we not working? Are the drones not working? Let's see what's going on here. Let's try a dock here. Oh yeah, something's not working. Let's do a refresh of the drone game. Super interesting. Let's refresh that cache. Get that going back out there again. Now let's see what we can do here with the drones. Love the drone design, by the way, says Cirrus. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, pretty cool. AJ 2017 tries to launch a drone as well. Let's see if we can get those drones out now. Can we do it? We cannot do it? Seriously? Do we have something wrong with Signal R? That's kind of what it feels like to me. Because I just did a refresh on it and the command's not sending them out. I think we're going to have to restart is what I'm thinking we're going to have to do. Let's see if that fixes it. So let's kill this. I'm going to kill all of the windows and the background layer, all of that, and we'll do a refresh on it. Let's come out here. Kill every instance of Chrome. Start up one more time. I am not myself. Nice. Low battery, ST0s? Yeah, I don't know. I think every once in a while we get into a place where, wait, Signaler is not working like we're expecting it to. Let's see what we got here. Come over here. Switch back over there. Get a refresh on those. See if the drones are working now. Any better luck? There we go. Oh, okay, kind of cool. I came in invisible, but that's because we've got the delay loading on the assets. So the assets are kind of, they're loading on demand there. And then, there we go, Genescu 7's out. The CodeRushed logo rocket is out. Michael Jolly's here.
Michael Jolly is in the house.
Let's plant some seeds, get some flowers going up here. It's getting a little crazy. Oh. Legendary Moo is in the house. Look out. Legendary Moo, everybody.
Legendary.
He's with us. World Wake is with us too. A little bit of perf issue there on the smoke going away, but still kind of cool. Yeah, I think Legendary Moose is a giant AVI file.
Bennett is in the house.
All right, let's get our rocket up out of the way a little bit here. Oops, up 3. Go over to the left. 2. Let's go up 1. So if you want to control your drone, you can just type in, if you've got a drone out there, well, first to get a drone. No sound on the drones? Yeah, I don't think there is sound effects on the drones. I think that's right. But if you want to get a drone, you can just type in bang drone. And then to fly your drone, you can just type in the first letter of the direction you want to move to, followed by the number of seconds you want to move in that direction. So L 3.2 will move left for 3.2 seconds. And then if you catch a meteor, for example, if I type in drop right now, the rocket, CodeRushed rocket will drop a meteor. Let me move to my right just a bit and do a drop again. Did I miss it? Let's go to my left. Go to maybe 0.5 to my left. Oh, there we go. And then let's drop it one more time. There we go. So if you caught a meteor like this, you can throw it with the toss command. Just type in T, a space, and then the X and Y coordinates for the meters per second that you want to throw the meteor. Now, somebody very clever changed the planet to the sun, which means the gravity is like crazy. It's like it's something like 27 G's. Is that right? Is it like that? So like if we throw this, it's just going to drop so fast. But we can do that. So if I type in toss and then like say, for example, 20 meters per second to the right and maybe 10 meters per second up, it'll look like that. And there we go. It looks like I tossed that and it was caught by AJ 2017. So nice catch, AJ 2017. Now we're on the moon, that which is also nice there as well. So let's, I just want to get another set of plants growing over here. Our plants are very kind of cool. It's essentially the same, set of assets, but we're color shifting just the flowers and not the stems. So they look a little different everywhere. And we're also adjusting the height a little bit. That was something we worked on a couple episodes ago. So kind of cool. We got some flowers growing there. Kind of neat stuff. All right. With that, let's get into the code. I am at a point now where I want to create a new button over here. And we're doing this in code for when we get down to, let me initialize the player data. and then come down in here, and now we've got our different players. This is for a Dungeons and Dragons game. And what I want to do is I want to create a button that allows me to roll inspiration individually for an individual player. And instead of putting it here, I'm kind of changing what used to be. I used to have this, where I would type in what their inspiration additional roll would be, and then if everybody ran, for example, an acrobatic skill check, which let's bring that up here so we can see that. Got a couple overlays going here. Die roller, like that. Twitch isn't showing the chat list anymore. What does that mean, the chat list? Does that mean who's in the chat? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Well, yeah, who's in the chat? I'm not sure how yeah, that's not something I ever really looked at a lot, so I'm not really really certain about that. It only shows chat settings now. I wonder why that is. So we're doing this for a Dungeons and Dragons game here. So let's go in here. We'll initialize one more time. And I'm going to switch the view here for a second. We'll switch to another player. We get our overlay on the scroll. Let's go ahead and hide that like that. And now, but let's do the roll. And so the idea is for individuals, we might want to come in and say, Shima and Merkin are going to do an acrobatic skill check, and Merkin is going to have a 1d6 inspiration die. And if we roll that, well, we got a breakpoint. Let's make sure all our breakpoints are deleted. Yeah. And run. And here they are. Here's the roll with my special inspiration dice that's coming out there. This is muted. We can unmute that so we can hear the sound effects on that. And that's kind of how we were doing it before, which is not bad for certain kinds of roles. For example, skill checks, it totally makes sense to do that. But for other roles, it may not. And actually, this is something I was, the Dungeon Master was saying, traditionally what they do is if they roll and it misses, then you can roll your inspiration dice on top of it. So you have the choice as a player to either accept the miss or roll an additional one. So anyway, I think that's what we kind of want to do here is we want to have an additional button off to the right of this inspiration piece to be able to roll that. So that's kind of what I'm going to do now. Now, I was in the process, when we did this, I was in the process of acknowledging, just as we got the raid from C# Fritz. Thanks for that, Jeff, by the way. Really appreciate the raid. And like I say, I'm working on your fanfare. It's going to be awesome, probably and totally ready, I think, on next Tuesday. Super cool stuff with the 3D hat and the 3D C# coming around. I'm learning how to do this now. Very cool. At any rate, that's going to, I was just explaining just before the raid that I really should probably not be doing it this way in code. I really should instead be using a data template for this. I kind of have a sense of how to do it, but I'm not really an expert in WPF. Whenever I've done this in the past, I've looked at how to do it, I've followed the example, I've done it, and I've promptly forgotten essentially core essential pieces of how to make it work on my own. So instead, when I started writing this code, I just wrote it right in here because I knew I could get it done this way. And it's really not, from my perspective, mixing in UI like constructing code into actual code is not too bad. It's not, especially if it's like this, you can kind of see the pieces as they're put together, that sort of thing. If I was on a much larger team, this would be incredibly bad because, if somebody wanted to go learn where to go make the change, it would be hard to go find it. It wouldn't be in the place, so there'd be this additional burden to making the change. So incredibly bad for that from that perspective. Also from a UI standpoint, it's harder to make changes here, so I'm kind of already in a bad place on this, but it's the changes I want to make right now are not actually that hard either to do in code. So I'm like, okay, kind of in a bad place, but I'm gonna continue using this style, and then I'll probably refactor this in a future show. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because ultimately, if I don't, it's technical debt and it weighs on my spirit, right? So let's do this. Let's go ahead and get a breakpoint in there. For that, we're gonna do that. No sound on the scroll either. Hold on a second. Let's see what's going on here. No sound on the scroll. When the scroll appears, there was no sound, was what we heard. Is that right? I don't think that's right. I think I heard that sound. Are you hearing that? Did you hear the announcer say Shemoglobin? I think you probably did. If I hear it, I think you are hearing it. Yeah. You're saying no. So why is that? Why are you not hearing that? Is his desktop audio too low? Is that my problem? That's my problem. Gotcha. Here comes the engines. The rocket engines are coming up now. Okay. I got it now. So let's do this again. Now let's see. This might even be too loud right now. Let's switch.
Viva Wolfhard!
It's probably a little loud. And then a little better there. Okay. Yeah, this is that thing that when Roy's here just naturally solves itself. Okay, better now. It says very low. World Wake, the C# crowd doesn't get converted as separate HTML plus TS. How does a C# get converted? Oh yeah, it does not. I have separate HTML and TypeScript. So the C# is only for the back end. Yeah, the C# is for this app right here, which is this window, and also we have our announcer bot, which is essentially running like this in this console window. So we've got some C# there, and then we've got TypeScript for all the UI that is happening over on the overlays. So TypeScript is drawing, for example, the player names for the Dungeons and Dragons game for the clock over there. By the way, the Dungeons and Dragons game, is not going out. C# for Fritz is going to do a Blazor workshop tomorrow, says Genesco7. Super cool. Yeah, that guy's a hard worker. That guy works hard. What do I want to do? I want to tell you that twitch.tv/Dragon Humpers is the name of the show. That's a show that we have not started yet, but that's what a lot of this work that we're doing is going to be for. So we're creating the dice rolling effects for that show, and the Dungeons & Dragons scroll overlays, the player character overlays. We're doing all of that in this show, which is a family show, but that show I just put in there, the Dragon Humper show, is going to be geared towards a higher level of I don't know if maturity is the right word, or maybe lack of maturity is the better word. That's what's going on there. All right, so let's see. So let's call initialize. I think I got a breakpoint out there, do I? I have a breakpoint. And so now let's create a new button. So new button, like that. And use CodeRushed here. I've got CodeRushed, by the way, we're dog fooding CodeRushed. I'm going to declare local right there. It just adds that code for me right there. And just to do that, I'm just hitting Control Dot, or I'm hitting the num0 key to bring up the CodeRushed menu, which also brings up the Visual Studio refactoring menu as well. And then we're going to say button.content is equal to, and I think I'm going to assign this just to a string, and we're going to say role inspiration only, I guess. Inspiration, like that. And let's do button.click plus equals, and let's rename this to button roll inspiration only, I think, something like that. Button roll inspiration only. Click, like that. And then let's, I think we can just run. Set a breakpoint here. And let's see how that looks. Well, okay, close. Let's try one more time. Let's actually add it to the parent. So set a breakpoint here, trigger the breakpoint. And we want to add it to the stack panel for the options right here. Okay, and there. Now run it. And now come back over here and click on one of these. There we go. So that's kind of cool. So we've got that there. We can add a little bit of a margin here if we want to do that. Let's set a breakpoint again, add the margin, and I think we'll finish with that UI. And let's maybe rename this to our BTN role inspiration. Just because I like that name there. All right, cool. So we've done that. Got a breakpoint down here. If we come over here and we check on that and we say role inspiration, right there, we get into the breakpoint. Excellent. So that's kind of what we want to do. So, so there we go. So that's kind of cool. Now we want to do a role inspiration only. And I think I had a test button down here, inspiration only right there. And let's go take a look at this. Prepare role with inspiration only going into it. Let's take a look at that. And I think down in here, I added some code yesterday. Well, let's see, is there anything in here specific that's looking for inspiration only? Well, I am adding this. This is the code I think I added right here. So we're adding in that player, doing that piece right there. Interesting. So that may be all we need to do to make that work. Okay. So this may be all we need in that other place where we have the breakpoint. Let's check and see what that works. If I do that, but if I have two of these and I hit it for just one, I want to do it only for the one, I think. Like that. Did the test smoke work, Will? I didn't get a check on that. I think it may not be working because I'm on a player one and I don't have the drone game on up here. Let's do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn on the drone game for this because I can turn this off later. So I'm going to turn on the drone game there and on this page and on this page and on this page. So these are the player pages. These are the pages I normally have where I don't have the drone game on. So now I'm going to do this. So now when we start up and we test and we switch, we're not going to lose the drone game. We're not going to lose those things. And so since that's the case, let's start up some music here. All right. So yeah, I roll it for one. I want to roll it for just that one. So I kind of want to change that breakpoint a little bit. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to trigger it. I'm going to click on like this one right here. What I want to do is I want to roll only for that's what I want to do. And I think the way I want to do this is I want to change this from a button to a button descendant. So I'm come down here, I'm going to create a new class called a player button. And it's going to descend from button. And it's just going to add one property to it called player ID. Like this. Now I know I could use the tag, but I like this better. So now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to change this to a player button like this. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to say this.playerID is equal to, and hopefully somewhere in here I've got a player ID. What's going on with this? There it is right there. Let's increment this at the end. Like that. And then we're going to set this equal to player ID there, like that. And so now I've got the player ID with it. So now what I can do is I can typecast sender. And I think I can just do this in CodeRushed. C/ like that is going to do this is equal to sender as player button, like that. So that wrote that code for me. That was a CodeRushed casting. By the way, let's go out here and let's, for folks out there who have CodeRushed, let's look at CodeRushed feature of the week on YouTube and look at the full playlist and look at search for casting. And there's some killer, if you've got CodeRushed, there's killer templates out here in this location right here. I'm just going to copy that and put that out in the chat room. Folks, if you have not seen this video, it's a great one to watch. The music stopped because we're in a breakpoint right here, so I'm going to just quickly get out of it because I want to get that music back in here. And we'll set a breakpoint here, and then we're going to hit run. We may not actually get here because we've just added player button. We have to, I think we're going to have to come back in, initialize one more time, then come back in and 1d6 like this and hit roll inspiration. Now we got it. So now we have the player ID, and then what we want is something like this, but only for that one checked player. So I think what I want to do on this is I want to uncheck all the others. Is what I think I want to do before calling this. So I'm going to do this for now, but I want to do uncheck all the others is what I want to do. Come on. In fact, actually, let's just do this. Let's just faster in writing uncheck all player options. Or wait, do I have a check only? Have I done this? Check. I've got to check all players. Check active player. Let's go look at that for a second. Hold on. We're going to extract this method, and we're going to say check player. Whoops. Get that R on there. And then I'm going to take player ID. Can I, what can I do with this? Can I introduce a local? Let's do that. And we're going to call this find player ID. And then I should be able to promote to parameter. There it is. CodeRushed helps me right there. And so now I've got it as a parameter coming in here. So check player. This player ID here is the active one based on the tabs player selected index right here. Is the volume command working? Music is barely audible. Let's see. Let's go 1 second here. Let's do check active player. Let's get back to where we were here. And now we want to say check player, right? And then player ID, which is going to be player button dot player ID, like that. Whoops. Okay, cool. Let's run it. Did we just actually get that to work? How's the music now, kids? Got boombox volume at 5 there. Yeah, so that looks like that kind of worked right there. Roll inspiration. I want to get some margins around the inside. I want to get some padding in here on the button. Let's do that. One other thing I need to do, I just realized, better, must have been on a breakpoint. Yeah. When we were on a breakpoint, the music doesn't transfaction. Will Bennett says, can't really hear it. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's do this. I'm going to drop the volume. Yeah. Seems like desktop audio needs to be adjusted manually each time. Yeah, now it's loud. Yeah, let's drop it down. There you go. Now there it should be quiet right about there. How's that? Is that pretty quiet, or is that looks like that actually needs to go down compared to my mic volume. I feel like that's about the good volume. Yeah, really interesting trying to solve this problem of audio on here. I feel like the settings get adjusted sometimes. The settings inside of OBS Studio. That's kind of what I'm feeling is happening. All right, so let's get a breakpoint in here. We're going to add some padding on the inside. Come back in here. Call that. Call this padding right there. And inside, at least left and right, I want to have 8 pixels on the left and right. Let's see how that works. Run that. And how does that look? That's better. And I'm okay with it narrow like this, so it all fits on this line. I'm okay with that. Good. All right, cool. Let's do some other cool things here. This text box, I want to do kind of the same kind of thing here. I want this text box to control whether this thing over here is enabled or not, based on whether this has any text in it. is what I want to do for that inspiration text box, which is right here. So I think I'm going to do the exact same trick that I did before. So I'm going to come in here, let's initialize, and I'm going to come down here and we're going to create a descendant of text box as well. So we're going to say, and we're going to have that descend from text box. And this just needs to have a property of type player button, like this. And we're going to call this fine player button, like that. And then let's come back up and we're going to change this to a inspiration text box, like that. And then we're going to give this a good name here too as well. And then we're going to come down here after we create that player button, and we're going to say inspiration text box dot player button is equal to this guy right here. And then we're going to also have a text change event on this, like this. And then we're going to come down there. There's our text change, and we're going to say, what's in E? What's in E? Is there anything with text in it? No. Okay. So we're going to do this. We're going to take our sender and we're going to typecast our sender as our inspiration text box. So just using that CodeRushed template right there, and we're going to call that sender, like that. And then we're going to say if not null, then we're going to come down and we want to check, we want to enable the other piece. So we're going to say inspiration text box dot player button is what we called it, dot is enabled is equal to this dot text equal to not string dot is null or empty, is null or white space. Fine, like that. So if we've got something in there, then we can enable it. And if it changes, we'll enable or disable automatically. I think that's all we need to do. Let's run it and see what happens. See if that works. Okay, so we've done that. And now it looks like it's not at first. Let's make a change though. There we go. 1D6, and now it's enabled. So we've got to also disable this player button as we go here. Use the new pattern matching instead of verbose code. Oh, that's right. Thanks. Let's fix that. We'll fix both of those. Yeah, pattern matching, I'm still not like, oh yeah, let's do pattern matching. Sometimes I do it, and sometimes I'm like, nah. So instead, let's do two things. We want to do whoops. Equals F is a CodeRushed template like that that expands to equals false. And then let's do this down here as well. Let's say if sender is inspiration text box. There we go. Much better. We can do the same thing down here. If sender is player button. In fact, you know what? Do we have? I think there's a Visual Studio refactoring that'll get me here. Isn't there? Use pattern matching. There it is right there. Boom. Thanks, Visual Studio. Perfect. Nice. All right, cool. If sender is player button. Cool. And now we can continue to run that again. And so now if we come down here, there we go, much better. Okay, cool. So now we can come in,
Bushwhacker.
make that change. Let's do a 1D6, choose role inspiration. We should see Shimo selected and everybody else deselected. And we should see the die roll coming out to here like this. So if we do that, that's exactly what happened, it appears. All right, cool. Excellent. So the next thing we have to do is now be able to impact an existing roll. So I think what I want to do that's something that will come up in code analysis. Yeah, I don't know if that is or not. That is an interesting question. Let's explore that. Check it out. Let's get a breakpoint back in here. I guess I can do it on roll the dice right here. Let's try an attack roll. Okay, there's my breakpoint. Let's hit undo. That's the old right there. And well, let's see what's going on here, though. We may already have, well, we've got the quick actions. They're not quite the same. Let's see what we got here in code issues. This is what? If identical conditions, these are the same conditions? No, I don't think so. Is that what it's saying to me? Oh, it's this. These subsequent ones are the same right here. We have the same conditional piece here. I see. So we've got two in a row that are doing this. I see. Okay, cool. So we can, that's a thing. We can fix that. So let's select this, hit the letter B to embed it in braces, and then put that roll initiative piece down underneath. Fine. Okay, CodeRushed. I'm okay with that. Looks like that other stuff is not there. Got some misspelled words here. Result that local variable is never used and can be deleted. Okay. Yeah, that's right. We're in the middle of stuff there. So that's correct. So the answer is no. That's not found by CodeRush's code issues. However, what do we have? We have everything enabled. Not everything is enabled in here. Scroll's blocking the code. Sorry, thanks. Let's clear that up. I'm going to have to, I think, start running again to get that out of the way. I'm not seeing it showing up in, what do we got? What's our problem? Oh, equals F. Looks like I undid. Okay, now let's run it.
Yo, Mark!
Got it. Let's hide the scroll. Sorry about that. Boom. Okay. So yeah, I don't think it shows up in code analysis, at least not in CodeRush's. What's this? So we got here. Oh, I have to stop debugging. I'm going to say no for now. So I don't know if Visual Studios is going to catch that or not. Sorry about that, guys. Missing the scroll piece right there, the note on the scroll. Okay, the breakpoint, yeah, disables Mr. Announcer Bot. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to take an existing role and change it with an inspiration. That's what I want to do next. And I think the next question I have is, now that I can specify that inspiration for that player, should I roll it automatically on every single roll or only on some? For example, skill checks, I think yes. I think a skill check always has it. I think a saving throw always has it. An attack may not always have it. Death saving throw. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in a disagreement with the Dungeon Master on this. I think I'm going to talk to the Dungeon Master before I go forward on that. All right, let's refactor something else. I'm going to think about this. I did the same thing yesterday. I was like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this change. Over in my TypeScript class, Dice Roller, I think I've got some to-dos in here. I wanted to create a num players piece right here is what I wanted to do. And yeah, I want to do this is what I want to do here. Like that. So now we have a variable number of players in there. Really, I didn't have another one in there. Let's see what we have with I is less than 4. Nope. Okay, guess that's it. Well, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the feature, but I'm not entirely sure we're gonna use it, I think is what I'm gonna do at this point with this die rollout, the inspiration happening afterwards. So if I'm gonna write this feature, and actually it's probably better to do this as kind of a switch kind of thing where we can decide whether we're gonna do it or not, and then I turn it on or off as like with a constant in the code. Let's hit a breakpoint here and start making some changes. Trigger the breakpoint. All right, so I want to have a protopoly.com is out there. Hello, protopoly.com. Glad to have you with us. Thanks so much. Feature flag. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. A feature flag just for now. That's basically going to say roll inspiration afterwards. Like that. Let's just do this. I can't make a change to, I can't initialize that without and continue, so I'm doing that instead. So roll inspiration afterwards there. Then manage it through the new Azure Feature Flag Managers. What, really? What's that? I don't even know what that is. Somebody give me a link to that, please. C# Fritz, you listening? He's not using Azure, says Will Bennett. All right. Oh, he's here. Roll inspiration afterwards. Good to have you here, C# Fritz. I always feel safer when you're out in the chat room. It's going to be okay. I know it's going to be okay because you're here. I'm not wanting to get tightly coupled with Azure, says C# Fritz. Fritz the C#. Genescu7 says. How was your show, by the way, C# Fritz? Electric Havoc is here. I'll balance him out. Electric Havoc, by the way, also one of my top lists of folks that I want to have a fanfare for because I think your name is so cool. I'm just totally, lightning everywhere. I want to do that for you, Electric Havoc. Just got to get to the point where we got the time to do that. No, it's going to be, I think it's going to be awesome when you show up. It'll be awesome. Okay, so roll inspiration afterwards is there. Then I'm going to just hit run so we get the music going to the next piece here. And let's see where we are here. Actually, I think we were not too far from where we wanted to be. Let's do this. Let's go in here and see what we've been working on here. Roll the dice is, I think, well, that's where we were. Prepare roll is the one I wanted to look at here. This is the place. Here's what I want to do. Set a breakpoint in here. Okay, one more time. So we're going to roll the dice, trigger that. Here's the attack roll. And now what I'm going to do is this, is I want to create a variable type string. Oh, geez. I'm totally just noticing a pattern in development now. I want to note the time. We're 44 minutes in. So this is for, I'm now talking to the developers on the CodeRushed team. So here's the deal. I'm here. This is where I am. I want to hit the CodeRushed key, and I want to get to. Is it just as simple as an introduce local? I don't think it necessarily is. I think I want to do an introduce conditional local is what I want to do. So what it's going to do is it's going to give me this far, then it's going to give me some conditional expression. Text is equal, whoops. I think it's looking like this is what it's going to build for me. Like that with a marker here and the caret here. Okay? So what happens is the caret here? Yeah, I think the caret's there, and then this is also selected for a rename like this. So it takes me from point A to point B like this. That's kind of the feature I'm looking for there. So let me just take a note, make a note here. So feature introduce conditional local or conditionally initialized local like that, because I find myself I'm often there. If I wanted to introduce a local for something that's already pretty simple, it's that scenario right there. So here I want to grab that that field that I created, which I've completely forgotten the name of. What is the name of that field? It is something with inspiration in it. All right, let's just try and find it so we can jump to symbol. We just jump to symbol here. Inspiration. Inspiration only? Nope. Here, let's look only in this file and only for fields. So I think a Shift F should give me only fields like that. Roll inspiration afterwards is what it's called. Okay. Roll inspiration afterwards. Roll inspiration afterwards. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Will Bennett was close on there, right there. I might have my mindset I'm bringing some of the Azure folks on the show, especially since my Azure show usually run into some crazy errors. That would be awesome. And so we're going to call this the inspiration text is what we're going to call this right here. Now for the reply from C# Fritz, an excellent, I think, rack attack GIF. Excellent. Okay. Darn close. Yeah, so we're going to say this is the inspiration text like this, and then we're going to come down here, and this is going to be an empty string right there. Yeah, I suppose if it's a string, so developers still watching, if it's a string, we should have some sort of default initialization here. So if it's primitive, give it a default initialization, whatever that is there. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for in that feature, in that CodeRushed feature request. And I think we're good to run now. If roll inspiration afterwards, whoops, it's the other way around. Look at my code. I like that CodeRushed is using video from the stream like I do. Hey, this isn't working like I expect. Here's a video clip showing my question or bug report. Yeah, well, we are dog fooding, Jeff. That's what we're doing. And okay, cool. So let's do this.
The damage.
All right, so let's look at, do this again. Yeah, dog fooding is amazing on stream, says C# Fritz. Yeah, maybe your ternary. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm like writing old-fashioned code, it seems. Let's take a look at that and look at that. Yeah, I think, well, I say what's wrong with me. I don't find ternary expressions easier to read, but they certainly are more compact, right? Like that. Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's add that as a note to the devs. Tell them to watch all the way through to 49 minutes in. Okay, we'll talk about that. Yeah, I agree with you. Ternary's better. Boom. Okay. Yeah, C# says, make it readable, not the compiler, make it compact. Yeah, I'm kind of there too. Although I do feel like I have faith that if I do this enough, that'll be readable to me. C# Fritz asks, Or Legend Moo asks, Cesar Fritz, have you ever looked into a way of sending a URL link of the live stream in as a work item into a tool like Azure DevOps? Ooh, that's actually a good idea on our side as well. That's an interesting idea as well. I wonder if we can get the time. I send clip links to Visual Studio community error reports all the time, but you have to make the clip though, right, Jeff? I think that's what I'm trying to do is I want to be able to say kind of record. I want a button that says record and then stop recording. Clark I.O. and Michael Jolly might be doing that, says Will Bennett. I asked viewers to make the clip. Right, as a mark the time command for Rory. Interesting. Yeah, maybe we should do that. Have Rory turn those into clips. We could do that as well. Yeah, I'm kind of wanting a way to just make the clip, you know, by hitting two buttons. One to start it and one to end it. Yeah, I got a stream button marker. I have a stream marker button on the Stream Deck. I got that, but that still means somebody's got to go out and do it. We're still talking about a few minutes of work, and I want to turn it into a second or 2 seconds of work. I want to be able to say boom and start recording and boom and then send and it goes to my developers and I'm done. That's what I want to do. I think it's a great idea. Let's think about doing that, how we're going to do that. OBS has replay recording that may solve that also. Also, save, upload to blob, call as your function. OBS has replay recording. Where is that? Tools? I think I'm gonna have to look this up. I have a record button up here, like right over here, start recording, but I haven't heard about replay recording. That's awesome if it has something like that, especially for things that just happened. In properties with hotkeys, etc., not set up by default. Okay, Electric Havoc, I'm gonna look into replay recording after the show. Let me write that down. Legendary, I was thinking simpler, just use the timestamp functionality so the work item has the start time in the link and then it gets them to the point. Yeah, I'm cool with that too. There's probably a way through the API to get that time of the timestamp. Let's see if we can find that actually. I'm suddenly becoming very interested in that. I guess we should test the code we just wrote to verify that that's working. It should be. Wait. There's one problem with this logic right here. If role inspiration. Okay, we have to make a change right there. Hold on. So let's go back in here and let's test this. We'll test this and then we'll look at the getting the timestamp. I'm actually curious to see if there's a way to do that. Okay, if I come in here and I say, okay, roll an attack, we're going to say roll inspiration afterwards. It's true, which means we're going to go put that empty string out there. But we often do another check here. We need to actually check to make sure that the roll type, the type, is not equal to dice roll type. Whoops, that was far off. Not equal to dice roll type dot inspiration only. Because if it's inspiration only roll, that means we hit the button, and so we want to send the inspiration out. Okay, so let's go bring that back up, and we'll try one more time. Here we go. So here's the attack. We should not, this time the inspiration roll, we should not see it. So there's no inspiration roll. Now if we roll inspiration only, we see that. Cool. That's what we want to see. All right. So now what happens if I do this and a 1d6 here as well? If I do inspiration only here, that works. Good. And if I do this, good. All right. So that works too. So inspiration only will do multiples, and one of these is going to roll just that one and disable the other. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's go see if we can figure out the timestamp on this. Wouldn't that be cool if we could do that? The show timestamp. So let's see if we've got this. Twitch API. Are they maintaining that? Would they have that? Create stream marker. What you got for me, Legendary Moo? Oh, you just did it for me. Right? So it gets you to the 45-minute mark. Awesome. 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 Okay, cool. Nice. All right, so let's make a note of that as well. But I just want to find out how long I've been streaming for. And who's tracking that? Are they tracking it or not? Let's see, does time show up later? Let's see if we can just look for stamp. Timestamp. We got a couple of those. Yeah, the idea of the current stream, but the full VODs expire. Yeah, I'm looking at them before they expire. Our VODs expire like in 60 days, I think, something like that. Current stream is always listed in the videos first, so maybe it's also in the array as the first one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm going to have to track it myself. Yeah, because I don't think we found it here, right? We searched through, maybe not. Timestamp. Get banned events. No, I just want to say. Let's try something like this. Let's see if we can get anything here. Yeah, it's a lot of noise I'm finding, so I think this is going to take more effort to research than I want to spend right now to do this. Timestamp, oh, 27 timestamps in here, really? Because they're coming in there. Create stream marker, yeah, we're back around up to create stream marker, or maybe not. Here we go. If we create a marker, this looks like this comes back. Relative offset in seconds of the marker from the beginning of the stream is what it looks like. Is that right? A response field? I think it's coming back. I am not super familiar with this syntax here. Clark, I was looking for exactly the same for stream notes tagging. Yeah, interesting. So Legendary Moose has been looking into it as a side thing for you to add into Mr. AnnouncerBot. So my idea, if this is correct, if I'm, yeah, so parameters are what you send to it, and response fields must be what are coming back. That's my take on this, which means if we just create a marker in the create a stream marker, we're going to get back the position at which that marker occurred. So I can create a shortcut that I can hit, or a Stream Deck command that I can send that triggers this and says, here's where we're going to start it, and here's where we end it, and then also creates like an email and sends that or something along those lines. I think that's definitely an interesting way to do this. So let's see if we can do that. So creating a stream marker. So this is Helix. So this is, I'm super unfamiliar with this stuff. I'm totally familiar with C# stuff, but this posting stuff is a little bit weird to me, so I'm not sure how to do that. Let's see if we can find anything with IntelliSense. Hopefully this will be fruitful. With Mr. Announcer Bot, which is this guy right here. Make sure all members are there, and we're going to look for received, I think. Oops, I don't want to do that. See, go back there. Received on chat command received. I just want to actually on message received. Actually, I think is where I want to be. That one. Okay, so I want to get a breakpoint in here. So I'm just going to send a message out here like that. There's my breakpoint. And now I want to see, what do I have here? What's my Twitch thing here? I think I have. What do I have up here at the top that's using Twitch here? Nope, it's twitch.client. Okay. Twitch.client. Is there a marker? Is that what they're called? Stream marker, yeah. I'm looking for a twitch.api.helix. Well, Helix is here, right? Streams. Is that next? Oh, nice. Look at that. Markers. What? Okay, wait. There's not. No, you just totally made me sad. There's no create stream marker. Get streams. Get async. What? How could you get me so close? There's no create marker? Actually, let's not give up here yet. Let's look at this carefully, all of these here. Let me turn on, this is already showing me 5 elements here. I want to turn on CodeRushed so we can see more elements here on screen. Okay, so that's everything we're dealing with right there. Is it maybe I have to get the streams first? Is that maybe my deal? Okay, there's a possible path there. Let me go ahead and run a second here. So we, I think you need to specify the stream first. Yeah, but how do I specify the stream is, I guess, my question. I'm not sure how to do that. Like I say, I'm not an expert in in this. Let's trigger the breakpoint again. Let's see what the internet can help us out here. C# create stream marker. Like that. And we're going to run that, get the next song coming in. Yeah, must include C#. I'm going to say yeah. Must include marker. Wait, uptime. Trying to use uptime. Maybe Twitch didn't put that in yet. Yeah, okay, maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm not. I look at this and I look at the spec and I look at the implementation of it, and I feel like I am not. I feel like I'm missing a great deal of knowledge to feel like, oh yeah, I got this. Let's see here. Code uptime, customer bot outside a timer, and we'd rather not use the timer commands. So I'm going to start it. Maybe looking for someone what Nightbot and other bots. Uptime, showing uptime. This is the way I get the uptime of a stream. What? It's that? Whoops, API.justin.tv? What is that? What is Justin TV? Is that really seriously what it is? No. Twitch.tv, now it just changed to that. Yeah, that didn't work for me. But this is what I mean by missing knowledge. I'm looking at that. Isn't there an HTTP client class or something like that that you can use to post videos, to post the request and get the response? Yeah, I think there is. Do you know your channel ID? You can use this command to get a list of videos, including the one that's currently broadcasting. Yeah, I got my channel ID somewhere. I'm not sure what it is, unless it's just CodeRushed. Channel ID, like that. Substitute the bit in the middle there. I think it's just CodeRushed, isn't it? Like that. No client ID specified. I need a different ID, so I got to look that up. I'm not going to do that now. Okay, let's make a note of that too, though. Get rid of the 7B. The %7B. And the 7D, what are those? I'm feeling those are needed. I probably need the % gone too. The encoded, oh, I see. Okay. Got it. Try that. No client ID specified, so I've got to do that. Whatever my client ID is, I forget that. I have to look that up. It's a long time ago. But we're going to look at this. That gets a list of videos. All right, so it seems like we need to do a stream now. So maybe I could do this. This is what Will's talking about. I can do a post on this. And this is like, again, something that I've done like maybe 4 times in my life here. Might it be live in the drone game now? Are you, I'm not sure, hold on. No, I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean on that question, Legendary Moo, since it connects to the channel. No, the drone game, you mean, oh, the channel, hold on. I'm wondering if, yeah, no, I'm not, I think the answer is no, because I think the answer is no in there in terms of what the channel ID is on that. I'm gonna look that up later. Create stream markers. I'm wondering if this is my post right here. This is the piece that I post out here. And yeah, so here's what we have here is this example, right? So let's try this. Let's see if we can figure out how to do this. So this is like, again, this is a thing that I've not done. And but I think I have some code in here. There we go. All right, this is what we're looking at. Something like this, I think. So let's try something like that. Let's create, let's do a breakpoint and add that code. We'll just follow that HTTP post thing. Yeah, I was hoping for the API, but no. Okay. Here's my breakpoint. There's sending out a chat message, just the letter O. We're going to create a new method. I'm not sure what we call it yet. And instead of it being this, we're going to go do instead this one right here. Post stream marker, like that. And, oh, it's not going to let me do that here. Fine. Let's go back, and we're going to put it here. And like that. And make this async, and we're going to call this mark CodeRushed issue, like that. And I think that might be enough. Let's hit run so we get the music going to the next song. Take a look at that. And I think I want to set a breakpoint here. And let's trigger it. All right. Let's add that command. Let's set that other breakpoint. We're going to come in there and set a breakpoint here. Here comes our breakpoint. Now let's initialize a, let's create a new command, bot command. We're going to call this CodeRushed issue, like that, I think. Like that. And we're going to say, a little CodeRushed, mark CodeRushed issue, like that. So there's the issue. We're going to execute this line of code here. We're going to now get rid of it from there. We're going to put it back up. In main window, is that where we put it? Oops, we lost our, it looks like we jumped around a bit here. We want to put it back up here. Like that. See our issue. And then we want to do that. And okay, and let's run it. And do I have my breakpoint on there? I think I do. On mark CodeRushed issue, I got a breakpoint there. Mark the timer right. So now if I type in a CR issue as a command, get the breakpoint. Hey, cool, we do. So now let's call mark CodeRushed issue and see what happens. And run it, and I got my response string. Oh, look at this. It says unauthorized, a valid client ID or OAuth token. Okay, so we got to figure that out. What are we doing in here? So does this fail? Check viewers. I want to set a breakpoint here. Or is it only that I need that? And I'm not sure how to pass in that OAuth token. We'll have to figure that out. I'm going to run it. Check viewers comes back, and it's good. So check viewers, I think, it doesn't need the OAuth token, but the user ID of the broadcaster whose live stream the marker is created, the ID of the broadcaster. So I think that is the user ID, and I think this is what we send in as the second parameter. That's what I think. Don't know. HTTP content. I think I only have 2 examples of the post async, so I'm not exactly sure how to do this. But let's set a breakpoint here and let's see if we can play with that and change that around. And I'm not sure what my user ID is as well, but I think I can figure that out. All right, we've got all right, message received, breakpoint there. Codebase alpha triggered it. I'm going to go ahead and run it. You can use Postman to try this out. Teach me about Postman. Client ID needs to be set as a header. Teach me about this, because I am like, what do we have here? Whoops, that's not there. That's not where I wanted it. And I think this one's me. Chat message, channel CodeRushed. User ID, username is CodeRushed. That's my user ID right there. Copy. All right. So now I want to come down here and say, like that. And I think I also want to I want some code here to basically say, hey, look, if object dot command dot chat message dot username user ID equals that is user ID a string. It is. Okay, if it's not equal to that, then we're going to get out like that. Otherwise, we're going to come in. So it can only do command from me to do this. And then we got to figure out post async. So let's go do this. Let's clear that breakpoint. Let's see what we got out here. Postman allows you to set the headers of any body of a post request, observe the results of the request. Okay, let's take a look at Postman. Nice. All right. Skip signing in and take me straight to the app. So here's an example of good UI, good design in general, right? It's big. The pieces where we want to fill out are here. Using saturation to encourage me to click these buttons, and giving me a way out, but making it harder to read in smaller text, right? So, all right. Legendary Moose says, great tool and great suggestion, Codebase Alpha. We're kind of fumbling through around the Twitch documentation at the moment. The answer's in here somewhere, just no idea where yet. Now, I think we're really close. I just need to know how to send the user ID to it. And it sounds like it's through the header. I feel like I could find it. Okay, create new. I think request. Okay, so we're going to say stream, Twitch stream marker. Okay, option. And this is optional. Select a creation, so I got to create a new collection. My stuff, like that. And then save to my stuff. Okay, so let's see what we have. You don't have to save a request unless you want to come back to it later. You can create one on the fly without saving. Well, I think I'm blasted past that. So here's the request URL. So we're going to do this. Set it to a post request first. Oh yeah, thanks, perfect. Yeah, so this is like something that I'm like, I think every other developer totally knows this innately. And I'm like, what? Not quite there. And I think we need to do something like this. We need to set the user ID query parameters. So this is going to be user ID like that. And then the value, well, look at this. It looks like I'm smart, doesn't it? Although, oh, it just added to the end. Oh, look at that. So let's see what happens if we send that. So I need a valid client ID. That's my user ID, not my client ID or OAuth token. Hold on, let's go look at this. I have to be very careful about how I do this here. Hold on a second. Let me switch over to this view a second, because if I'm looking for my OAuth tokens, I got to keep those private. And let's see. That's my OBS connection. User ID is the thing that goes in the body. Client ID is probably in the header, is the comment that's out here. I'm looking to see where my OAuth token is for my Twitch client. It seems like, I wonder. Client ID is the ID of the app you registered in the Twitch dashboard. Hold on, let's go back. Let's go switch back here a second so I can get myself oriented on this here. Yeah, don't show any secrets. I know, that's the thing. Part of the problem with this, I just realized, so tab index reference, while being super cool, can suddenly, if I'm on one of the secret pieces, it can suddenly open up that file that I normally never open up and reveal what its data is. So that's why I switched there, because I wanted to make sure, I thought I might be using tab index reference to do that. So let's look at this. So I've got user ID, must provide a valid client ID. That's what I'm looking for, is my client ID. I think I feel like I'm on the verge of revealing secrets here. I want to make sure I do not do that. Let's get at least while we're here, let's turn our music on. Yeah, interesting that this one works. No problem there. And this one fails. Needs authorization. Don't put the user ID as a query parameter though. The doc says it in the body of the post request. So help me understand that. So this isn't here. We're going to kill that. Let me just remember this. Cut that to clipboard. So not there. And how do I specify the body of it? Oh, here, body. Like this. And so I think I probably need something that's the client ID. Let's go back over here. It's user ID. That's in the body. And the value, can I copy this? Because I just deleted that off the, there we go. Is that going to work? Nope. Oh, wait. Okay. That could explain why. I thought I pasted it in the other one. 2375 84851. Two, 375 84851. Any better? No. It's my user ID. Wrong value. Value is wrong. Also wrong request. What do I change? The required body parameter. Okay, so now I see what's going on here. The other one will be down here. Description. I'm starting to learn. Look at the tabs at the top. I see body. I got that pre-request script headers. Yeah. The idea of the broadcaster in whose live stream the marker is created. That's my user ID. I think that's my ID. Feels like that should work. Further up. I got this one, post Twitch stream marker. That's the other one we created, I think, right? Look at the tabs at the top, further up. These two tabs I think you're talking about, is that right? This one is totally wrong. Use the post Twitch stream marker. So that's the one we had. These are both kind of, this one I think is the better version of it because it's got body filled out with user ID and description. It's a post, it's got that API call, it's got the URL. I think the problem is the user ID. Must provide a valid content type header with the request body. Header. Oh, it's a different error message is the problem. Is that my problem? I think that's my problem. Take a look at this response. So when we got the response, right, one more time, we'll do it. It's not that I'm no longer unauthorized. It says a valid content type header with the request body. So that means over on this tab, I think I got to do something. Is what I've got to do. Look at these temporary pages. Set the header content type to JSON. Not sure how I do that. Oh, here? No, wait, that's the response back, right? So is it, hold on. It's this, isn't it? That's what I want to do. Okay. It's not clear to me if these are enabled or temporarily or not. I think what I want to do is this, is I want to say content type. And over here, I just want to say JSON. Application JSON. What happens if I send that? Well, I felt like I just did that and sent it and got the same error. Temp headers, I didn't see a content type application JSON. Maybe because I saw some other content type, but I didn't see application JSON. Content type looks good now. We could change from form data to none. By the way, if you guys want to fly a drone around to get my eyes in the right place on this, you can totally do that. Form data to none. Okay? Let's try that. Okay, now we got back to client ID problem again. So interesting. So we kind of changed from one to the problem to another. Oh, because there's no of this, I see. Okay. What's the raw body look like? How do we see the raw body on this? And headers key, accept value. Is it accept dash value or just accept? Okay. And then again, application JSON. Okay, let's try that. The raw radio button. That's there, but do we have a raw for what we send out? But that's like, I think that's what you're asking about maybe, is it or no? Radio button under body. Oh, do you want to just fill it out here? I presume we can do something like this. Wait, is that not, that's not in body, that should be in header, right? Body is raw. No, wait. So there's no raw edit of body, I think, of header, I mean. No, it's body. It's in body. Okay, hold on a second. All right. I feel like if I was an expert at this, would go much faster. Let's write a valid client ID or OAuth token. Look at the top of that Twitch page. It says you need a parameter. Client ID is needed in the authorization header. Oh, right here. That's what I need. Okay. So we're not going to be able to really test this out here. What's bearer? Is that's their word, not mine. I'm trying to be CodeRushed, right? So authorization bearer. I think that's what I need. So to make that work, so this was probably okay. This is where we need to do something here. It's a JWT bearer token, I think. Back to header for the authorization. Jeremy Knight says back to header for the authorization piece. You want to, when you say back to header, I think you mean you want to look in the header to do it. I see. Okay. All right. So that's here. And then this is authorization. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't test this live on the stream because I'm not going to put my key there. But it sounds like that's add bearer auth in the header. So not just this. Or is it here? All right, I'll play with that later, I think. I think we're at a point where I can't really do it anymore without going and starting to reveal secrets, which are not going to be, you know, either that or do it without you seeing the secrets, which is not that interesting for the stream to run. Let's see if I can do this in code, though, because I might be able to get access to that authorization token. What's super interesting to me is I would think when we set up the HTTP client, no, we do not. Okay. So here we would need to set up the authorization as well. Yeah, let's change our breakpoint to here, here, here. Let's try sending that trigger out again. CR issue. Is there something about headers here? So you've used the having used the auth token used somewhere, and you read it from a file. Yeah, I have the auth token somewhere in here. I'm pretty sure about that we're using that somewhere as well. Although I don't see it here in this code, but I think it might be. Let's just check the overlay manager and see what's going on there. If that's got the auth token in there. Nope. Yeah. I think this is going to have to be done off stream is what I think. I think this work's going to have to be done off stream. I think we're close, but we just have to do a few more things. I'm going to figure this out and we'll talk about it on Tuesday. That's what I think I'm going to do. All right. Where do you load the users when you're adding coins? That's somewhere in here. It's in that other one, the check users, check viewers. This one right here happens in this timer. So every time that timer goes off, we come in here. We're doing the exact same call, but it doesn't require authorization, I think. I think one requires authorization, the other does not. See, because I think authorization because I'm adding a marker. That makes sense, right? Whereas the other one, I'm just checking to see who's out there. Yeah. All right, let's do one thing here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop the music a second. We're going to switch to this view. I'm going to go in, just look at my secrets here on screen, and hopefully I won't blow those and have to go reset all those. I think I got it. All right, let's try this. Hold on 1 second. Let's see what happens here. CR issue. And let's switch our view back over here. So, she's allow us at a breakpoint. All right, here's what I got. I got this. Oh, and configuration isn't going to work there. Where is configuration? Configuration root. So it's going to be twitch.configuration. So it should look like this. Twitch.configuration. Okay, that should give me my OAuth token. Oh, and I can't even step through this because then that's going to reveal the token. I can't do that either. I was hoping I could just send that. Let's see what's happening. What are we using the OAuth token for down here? We're doing our connection credentials. The client is initialized with the connection credentials. So twitch.client. Yeah, it's already initialized. Arcade Mo says, hey, I'm here. I'm new here. Do you mind sharing what your app you're building is going to do? I do not mind that, Arcade Mo. Thanks for asking, actually. I love that. We're actually in the middle of we're on a slight diversionary path right now. And I'm trying to figure out how to programmatically add a stream marker to the stream at a particular time with some other information that I want to create as well. The whole reason I'm trying to add a marker is so that I can actually just get the time of the stream back. It seems like I'm trying to get this position in seconds right here at that moment in time when that came out. There's probably a much easier way to do this, and we've been kind of struggling with this. So that's kind of the sidetrack that we're on. I want to also see, let's get out of here a second. What's our problem? Okay, so we're okay there. I just want to see if there's any kind of stream uptime. Whoa, oh, we just restarted? That's not going to work. Interesting. Okay, hold on. Let's try one more check for something. What edition is for 5th edition of D&D? All right, I lost the Chrome pages here. I killed those that were up here, but I want to try this. I want to look for something else. C# or just determined stream uptime. I like the uptime keyword there for Twitch. Oh, that looks super interesting. How to see stream uptime.
If you manage a team, you have to try Monday.com. Monday.com is a platform to track everything your team is working on. We use it for all our projects, market.
Hey guys, it's Sam, and today we're going to talk about how to write an uptime command. If you've never heard of this command, it's a command that tells you how long a stream has been live. If you've watched my videos before, you probably know that I've covered this already, but the API we were using seems to be down still, so I found a new source for it. So first off, we need to click Commands and go to Custom. Now we click Add a Command. I'm going to name mine Uptime. So in the message section, we're going to start with, the stream has been live for, space, $, parentheses, custom API, parentheses. And make sure there's a space right there. No, it's hard to tell right now, but you'll see it better in a minute. And on the inside of our parentheses, we need to paste this link. And I'll have that down in the description for you guys. Now the only thing we need to edit with this is the channel name. Once you have the channel name in, you're good to go. Set the cooldown to whatever you'd like and permission to whatever you'd like, and then hit submit. Now let's head over to chat and test it out.
That's super interesting.
It's
But it looks like it's for a dedicated bot though, which is not quite what we want to do. Some client setup code here. Let's go look at that. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that later. It's kind of where I think I'm at on this. I think I'm at a point where I'm like, I am feeling like a lot of dead ends we're hitting, and none of them are getting us any traction in terms of feeling like I'm getting closer. So I think it's kind of what my take is on that. Unless Jeremy, Naimi, you want to, unless you guys disagree, I suppose. If you guys want to keep going for it, I don't like just not feeling it on here. I like making changes way faster, and right now, it's not working for me, I think. Probably best to move on. I'm going to agree with you, Legendary Moo. Let's do that. All right, so we're going to move on this. Let's go, let's talk about the next thing I wanted to do, which is persistence. Since a lot of involved secrets, yeah, you should not show. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So let's do this. Let's go look at persistence. I kind of wanted to look at persistence of our characters, because right now I'm creating the characters in code every time we start up, which is right here. It's this bit of code here where I'm creating these characters. What I think I would like to do is persist them. And I think ideally I would like to have several players from which I can select to start a game for. That's kind of what I want to do. So let's see, we've got Kent, and we don't add Kent to the end here, right here, but I think the first thing I want to do is I want to add Kent as well. So let's do that. Are we not running? Oh, we're not running. So let's run. What's really cool and interesting is the music is continuing to play, even though we've shut down everything behind it. So it's just all working in that JavaScript right there, and changing songs and all of that.
Is in the house.
All right, so let's initialize the player data. Let's go in here. Let's add Kent as well as a player. Like that. And so at least we have all of our players up there that we've got. And now, there we go, we have everybody up. Now what's going to happen if I change a player? Are we going to see all 4? No, it looks like we've got a problem with all 4 showing up. We've got a couple of problems here, actually. This is kind of interesting. Instead of working on persistence, it just occurred to me, I want that these are not working. Oh, wait, let's double check, because I think I need to just simply refresh. I think because we lost signal R because I killed the other piece. So there's the roller, the dice roller. I'm going to refresh the drone game as well. So stop the music. And we'll get that started up in a second. Refresh the Dragon Front overlay. And refresh the scroll overlay. Let's see if it works now. I think we're going to have some problems with 5 players. Okay. The drone game on, I just realized on these should be, I think I want to move the drone game back to the back behind the scroll overlay on here. That's what I think I want to do. Does that make sense? I think it's okay. Do it on that page. Do it on this page, so it's behind. Do it on this page. And do it on this page. All right. So let's see what we got here. So initialize the player data. There's the data coming in. So now,
Globen.
and those values look correct.
Big love nuts.
They look correct. What about Willie?
Willie.
Okay, kind of cool, but this last, he didn't open all the way. We saw this before.
Eva Wolfhard.
I've seen this before where the last one
Shaker.
dies like that. And I wonder if it has to do with a hard-coded limit of 4 players. Also, the separation here that we're going of these name tags is also not great because Willie's off to the side there. So to support 5 players, that's something we want to be able to modify and fix that. So
Eva Wolfhard. Willie Shaker.
and that the hiding scroll doesn't work.
Eva Wolfhard.
That one works. Okay, so what are we going to work on first? Let's work on the why Willie Shaker's scroll isn't unraveling. Let's go figure out that. And let's go take a look at the TypeScript in there. I think it's going to be in character stat scroll is where I think we're looking at. And open, I think, is the name of the piece out there. Looks like Giovanni, I didn't get the rest of that, is following now. Thanks for that follow. Working my way up to 1,000 followers, by the way. If I get 1,000 followers, Microsoft is going to have to say, all right, fine, Mark, you can be an MVP again. So that's what we're looking for, that goal right there. Let's see, I want to look for open. Yeah, right there. Okay, let's set a breakpoint here and step through it, see what happens. We'll do it over here, though, on this page, so we can step through it. So we have to reload that. If I reload that, there we go, the breakpoint is set. So now, if I click on Willie, we go to open, so here we are.
Willie.
There's the slam, and the state is slamming. There's, after the slam, what is this? This is my update. This, I think, is in my update. Render, okay. So if we're slamming, if it's slammed, play the scroll slam if slam effects. That's the sound effect right there. Then we unroll, okay. And here, I guess, is the next part I wanted the breakpoint at, right here. Okay, so there's the slam, and So these are sprite animations we're adding here. That's the sound effect. This page index is 1. Copperbeardy. Yeah, I think it's basically coming in there and happening in the render is, I think the real problem is where that is. Let's go look at it here. Yeah, we have the same problem here. It comes in and opens up only part way is what happens. So let's go look at the render. And we're not, I just want to confirm, we're not drawing the scrolls when we do this, right?
Ava.
We do the scrolls there.
Trigger.
Oh, we do, but then they disappear as they get near the end. It's right when we start drawing that. Oh, I bet, you know what? I bet we've got in the console log, we've got an error. I couldn't find the headshot. I bet that's it. Yeah. Okay, so part of that, we got to fix that because that's the headshot right there. The player headshot, this is the problem right here, I think. That if we were to scroll out, I'm sorry, if we were to comment that out, I bet that would fix the problem. Let's comment that line out, refresh, and I bet it works. That's why it's dying, and that's why it dies right at that spot.
Ava. Willie.
No. Hold on. So there's this one up here too. Hold on. Let's fix this a better way. Yeah, the problem is the headshots. Where are the headshots loaded? Here we go. Player headshots here needs to be tied to the total number of players. Or alternatively, let's do this. I know how we can do this. Okay. We'll make this player 5 or player 4. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. So now we're at 5 players total. So that line of code right above is going to load all 5 of those. But we need to know which player headshot, which index frame to draw for that player. So we've got a selected character index. It's only set in the, what's happening here? Okay. Where else is it set? Here it is, right here, player ID. And that's not, okay, so that's okay, but we really need CMJ Chris Jones says, hey, everybody. Hey, CodeRushed in the chat. Welcome. We are, Chris, we're just trying to support more than 4 players or fewer than 4 players. So we're doing that now in the game, and so we're working through that. I just realized the scroll overlay is hiding. There we go. I'll get that back up there. All right, so going in that game, I need to know if set player data, which is called after, it's basically the equivalent of initialized player data, is, like, let's rename this here so we've got a better mindset on this. Codeman Code says, had to take a quick call, so didn't get to comment when it was pertinent. Instead of creating a marker, use Helix Stream's user login equals CodeRushed, and the started at value returned is when you started the stream. That could totally work. Let's go take a look at that. I'm back. I'm diverted with this. Let's take a look at that. Let's come back. We'll come back to this in a second.
Legendary Blue is in the house.
So this is, that's a post though. Can I do that or not? Is it, let's see, Helix streams to here, there. Can I do that? It says unauthorized. Lasers and explosions. You still need to pass in the client ID, but not the auth token. Okay. So the client ID, so the user login, it says CodeRushed, and does that mean I then have something else afterwards? I'm not sure what to do next. So this is, tell me what I need to do after this. And my ID is, the client ID is still a header. So does that mean I'm not here anymore and I'm over in Postman again trying to figure this out? Is that what's going on? So if we change this to this and user ID is there. I don't know. Let's see what happens there. Not found. So I'm about there. Comment says correct. It's a get. Let's write a valid client ID or auth token. So I'm not exactly sure how to do that. If I'm, that's what I'm looking here on this. I'm not sure what to do here. I'll let you mull that over and tell me what you think I need to do. Headers tab under the URL. Yeah, I don't have any secrets in there right now. Yeah, that's what I got. So yeah, that was the problem basically I had, is I was like, I can't do this on the show really effectively at all. I've got to put my authorization token there. Key is client ID. So here we're going to say client-ID. Okay. And so authorization, maybe take that out. Maybe, I don't know. Use this one. It's mine. I'll nuke it. All right, fine. That's super generous of you, Codeman Codes, because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So basically do that, copy, paste that in there, send. Any better? Whoa, nice. Started at. Okay. All right, so now at least I'm finally closer. Codeman Codes, thank you so much. That is totally awesome.
It's awesome!
I appreciate that so much. Okay, good. Go nuke that key, that client ID out there. So now I have a sense of how to do this. Is there a way, by the way, with Postman to now say, okay, give me some C# code for this, or do I have to go convert that manually? Interested to know about that. Yeah, it looks like, wait. Oh, look at that. That looks like it's a lot of code, more than I was expecting. But I think there's something I can work with that. I feel like I can work on that with, assuming REST Sharp is something I can go bring down using NuGet. All right, so that's pretty cool. Thanks everyone for the help on that. Yeah, Postman is cool too. Is a cool tool. I'm definitely getting there, and I'm getting the feeling that the more I learn this and understand this, the better it's going to be. So you know, better. It's going to be worth it, and I'll get a return on investment on that. All right, so I'm just changing some things around here because I never liked initialize set player data. I want to change it to initialize player data, and I want to do a couple renames here for that, like that, and do this one as well. So there's that. And the Dragon Back game, here's where we initialize. Here's where we put the characters in. Okay, so we've got characters here. That's what I wanted to know. Let's use escape to get back to where I was. Or you can actually use tab the next reference to get there. Here's where I was. Player data changed. And here's where we have the characters. Are the characters here? Nope. Oh, they must be in stat scroll then. Okay, player data changed. Characters are here. There they are, right up there. Okay, cool. So now what I can do is I can say this, and I can say, well, let's go look to draw headers. Go look to where we were drawing the headers piece. Player headshots, add. This is the starting frame index, right? So now what we want to do is say this. We want to say instead here, we want to say this dot characters of this dot headshot index is what I want. That's what I'm going to do here. In fact, I think I want to create a property of type number called headshot index, like this. And I'm going to get rid of the getter and the backing store. I'm sorry, the setter and the backing store. And I'm going to simply return that piece right there is what I'm going to do. So now we'll come down here and we're going to use the headshot index right there. Like that. Let's see. You should be able to use HTTP client. So it sounds like I won't. Thanks, Will Bennett. I recently started using REST client inside VS Code. That's also pretty cool. Not quite as fully featured, but for making API calls, it's pretty good. There's some online JSON to C# class converters that will do the data annotation and create a class for you. Okay, cool. I'll look for those too. And you can use HTTP client. You just need to add the header for the client ID. Nothing else there really matters. Okay, I'll look into that. And client ID is now nuked, just FYI for any nerd dwellers out there. I love CodeMan Codes, how you are taking care of looking out for the nerd dwellers out there. I love that. Yeah, Codebase Alpha says, good job, CodeMan Codes. Yeah, really helpful. I super am appreciative of that. So this headshot index is there. Let's keep looking for headshots in here. Draw cropped by index. Base animation. I think that's going to all be okay because, the selected character index, that's what we got to change to this headshot index right there. Okay, so there's player headshots and draw by index. Again, we have to do the same thing here, like that. And I think that's it. And so this, I'm going to create a new constant here. Total known players. So we get that, that number 5 out of there. And we're going to do this. Laughing out loud, I see headshots and I think this is a CodeRushed stream. Does that mean shooting in the head? No, it's not. This is there's the player headshots that are out there. Those are these guys right there. So those are the players that we've got out there. This is our new player we just got. She's awesome. Got to get a better kind of. All these other ones are for the spirit of the game. This one we got to update that one, but that's what we're using to draw on them. So those are our player headshots, total known players. We're loading all those up. That means we need to now go in. This headshot index needs to get into the character. So let's go into character. Let's go in here. We'll create a, duplicate that line and just paste that in there. So there's our headshot index as part of the character. Here on this side, this character is created. I was hoping Tap Next Sources would help me find the place where I transfer the data over. Good for the DTO. Oh, it is just a DTO, isn't it? It's not, it doesn't have any functions that we call in it. Is that true? If that's the case, then, oh wait, we do have some, well, we have getters. No, we have copy attributes from. Okay, here's what I'm looking for. Copy attributes from, clone from. That's what I want. So I want to come in here, and I just need to duplicate those two pieces as well, the headshot index, take it from both places. Then I need to go out to character in our main app. Go to the entire solution. That's only on file, so let's look at the whole solution. So just hit the number 1 there, hit Control to hide the options. And now I should find character. Oh, and D&D Core was right up there at the top. That's it, right there. And so now I want to come in here, duplicate this line, because I can't because I'm running. All right, so drop a marker there. Set a breakpoint anywhere. Message received. Fine. Send a message. Oh, there's the message received. Now I've got my breakpoint. I can make my change. No, it won't let me make a change here. It's locked. Read only. I don't get it. All right, well, I'm going to kill everything then. I'll kill everything. Come on. Okay. That took way too long to make that change. Headshot index is now set. Now, when I create a new character, I want to set those as well. Since I've got everything killed, I'll tab the next reference for these. Got a lot of tests out here, don't I? I should go to that one right there. Here's where I'm creating them, and then add these in by hand here. So Kent, his headshot index is at 5, I believe. Is that right? Kent is at 4. He's at 4. Okay. Kayla is at 1. Mark is at 2. And Karen is at 3. And did we get the last one? Laura is at a 0. Okay. Good. Let's kill every instance of Chrome that's running out there. Those are gone. Let's run and start it back up again. Let's come out to our overlays and start refreshing things like the drone game and stuff like that. As soon as we get started up, I guess I'll wait a moment for the startup to occur. All right, so that's refreshed. Let's send a player data out to it, to the stream, and let's try changing. Okay, happening in both places. Let's turn off this sound. Should we do that? What should I do on this? So I guess we'll mute this site right here, and we'll look at it only on the stream and see how it works on the stream. The stream, I don't think I refreshed it, though. Let's go refresh that. That's the scroll overlay. Refresh that. And send the data over one more time. And
Loban, Merkin, Ava,
here's the test. Willie.
Shaker,
Nice. And it opens up all the way.
McLovenuts,
Nice.
Willie.
Cool. Cool. That works really well. I like that. And it looks like you've got control of it over there in the will as well, Will. Good job typing in suppress over there. Yeah. Sorry about that. Ava.
Merkin, Shimo, Lady McLovenuts,
Let's also test the hiding of the scroll. Let's go to
Willie
Willie.
Shaker,
Yeah, it looks like it's working well.
Ava.
All right, cool. Just got to figure out, I got to get enough to have like 5 players or 4 players or get those out. So the next thing I think I want to do is over here, decide which players are going to be out there. So to do that, I have to have a known set of players. I guess we'll work on this on next Tuesday is what I think we're going to do. I need to have a known set of players that are, and then from them, I'll check which ones I want to include in the game. And then I'll have a button here that says, these are the players I want in the game. And then we'll add those up, and then those will be those players, and those will also correspond to the tabs we see here. So right now I've got all of them up here. So what I will do what I'm expecting to do on Tuesday is that we're going to work on moving this from being code to being data out in like a JSON file that's out there. Okay? With all the players and load at runtime. Will Bennett says you can create a JSON file with all the players and load at runtime. That's what I want to do. And I think I want to do that on, we'll save that for Tuesday is what I think we're going to do. With that, let's see who are the folks out there we're following and the live coders who's out there. Who's this person here? Codephobia. I've never raided over to Codephobia. Let's go raid to Codephobia. Wait. Oh, maybe not. It says channels intended for mature audiences. Since we're a family show, I probably won't send you there. I'm going to send you to Michael Jolly instead, is what we're going to do. So let's get that going. Raid to the Michael Jolly. And send that over, get that started. That's going. Hey, thanks everybody. I really, really appreciate the help. CodeMan Code's great assistance there, helping us out there with the authorization on that call. We'll figure that out, and I'll work on that outside of the stream. Thanks everybody for your assistance. Let's go take a look at what Michael's doing right now.